For over 10 years, the Flying Disc Store has stocked Australia's largest range of flying disc products. From disc golf discs and bags to ultimate frisbees, throw and catch discs and dog discs, the Flying Disc Store has everything you need. As part of our support of the Tee-Off, the Flying Disc Store would like to provide Tee-Off listeners with 5% off any purchase in the store. Just use the code TEEOFF5 when checking out to get your discount. Visit www.flyingdiscstore.com.au today to grab a deal. And if you have any questions, be sure to contact their friendly staff. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Berg's Disc Sports. Check out bergsdiscsports.com for the highest quality disc golf bags and gear that have all been fully tested and approved by our disc golf community. The only thing better than Berg's bags is Berg's customer service. And welcome back to the Tee-Off, an Australian podcast about the awesome sport of disc golf. This is episode 39, and I'm Paddy Robinson. With me today is just Timmy Bowen.
Hey, Paddy. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. We finally got rid of Fergie.
Fergie's gone.
No, Fergie's not gone. He's just at home with sick kidlets, and Timmy, you and I both know that pain at the moment too.
Yeah, we both got sick kids. We just care less. That's all we do. No,
We
Fergie's
care about-
also, he's got the kidney stone too.
Yeah, true,
He's
actually.
straight, like I'm picturing Kramer.
Mate, that's all I've been picturing. As soon as he told us, I sent that GIF, that episode straight to him. Just Kramer screaming at the circus, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Poor fella.
Poor bloke. He came round to my place the other day and he brought his little tea strainer with him. And if anyone's had any experience with kidney stones and tea strainers, you kind of get the gist of what's going on. Like, what the fuck is that doing in my house?
So you're saying never receive a cup of tea when you go over to Fergie's house?
100%. Yeah. Straight up coffee or nothing. No, we wish Fergie and the family all a speedy recovery so we can get him back in the studio. Now, because it is just myself and Tim, we are going to keep this episode a little more brief than we have done in the past.
This is borderline Throwlers territory, Paddy.
Yeah.
This is not, we have more class and decorum than Throwlers. We've got better, I don't know, a bit of a budget. We've got a bit of a studio here.
So, we're stooping to maybe an MA1, not your
this
typical.
This is an MA4 podcast right here. I'm not happy about it.
That's all right.
We'll be back next week.
We'll get through one. So straight up players meeting. First up, wanted to say a big thank you to Lewis Jones. Lewis joined the Patreon this past week. Thanks, mate, and appreciate the support. If anyone else wants to do that as well, it's as little as a coffee a month. Just sign up to our Patreon via our link tree on our Instagram bio. You will see all the links there. Another couple of handy links in that link tree as well. Some to our YouTube, some to our little Tee-Off pins. They're still going there. So, jump on, have a look, and, we appreciate the support. All right, first up, Timmy, we do have Nathan Thomas. He's the TD of the upcoming Queensland Open. He's keen to have a bit of a chat about it. So we're going to get him on the phone because he has a busy work schedule. He will be up next.
We just called to have a chin wag. We just called to have a chat with friends. We just called to talk some disco and to catch up on the latest disco trends.
And on the phone, Nathan Thomas, all the way from Brisbane. Nath, I did give you a little bit of a shout out before. You are the TD of the upcoming Queensland Open. And thanks for coming on. I'm keen to ask you a few questions about the upcoming event. Looks good so far.
Yeah, it's funny you say all the way. I was just in Melbourne over the weekend, so I'm well aware of how far away it is. Mate, I'm keen to chat as well.
Why did you come down to Melbourne? This is not the 6 months period. There's a blackout period of coming to Melbourne. You're right in the middle of it. Why did you come down?
He flew in specifically for the Southwest Teams Challenge down at Inverleigh, right? Thanks.
With a little side event of my grandmother's 90th. But the main event was obviously the Teams Challenge at Inverleigh, which was a great time. Unlike our golf, but the time was great and the card was great.
That's it.
Grandma's 90th, far out. So big weekend, strippers, straight in. No,
all of the above. And that was just the Teams Challenge.
Happy birthday to your grandma at 90. That's insane. Good on her. Nate,
good.
Appreciate. Well, yeah, you said you came down, you played some disc golf with Tim. Low light or highlight?
Look, I hit metal on an ace at Inverleigh, and I almost had a 50-meter throw in. Apart from the scorecard, I was having a great time.
The dude was dialed, and I shout out to Nath. I can't remember what hole it was, but we all had about 75, 80-meter up shots to go. Mm-hmm. I throw a sexy bird, of course.
Oh, really?
Put it, I don't know, somewhere 2-3 meters.
Unusual.
And I said, if anyone can put their disc closer than mine on this hole, I'll buy them a beer. And out of the 8 people in our card, 5 Sexton Firebirds came out. Everyone's in C1, mind you. I think someone threw a latitude. Is it Escape? Is that a latitude disc?
DD.
DD. Yeah, that was outside the circle.
Yeah.
Sexton Firebird or bust. But Nath steps up. We're all parked, and Nath top of the basket.
Yeah,
almost jackpotted it.
What'd you throw, Nath?
No,
a Firebird.
Sexton Firebird, obviously.
Okay.
All day.
Not CTP, unfortunately. It scooped way off.
Yeah, luckily off the basket. Choo, straight out.
Saved himself a beer.
Didn't have to buy anyone a beer. It was great.
That's it. Tim always lays up, mate. He doesn't run anything. So.
Tell you what, it was hard playing that Teams Challenge with the vicious sledging that we had all around. It was just like...
Oh, Terry, Tim's dad, mate. Wow. Just wow.
I think who said it? They're like, Tim, now I know you're the way you are. Sledging his own team.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I'm spewing. I missed that, to be honest.
Fun. It was really fun.
No, now, Nath, the upcoming Queensland Open, I've had a little look through some of the numbers. It's looking pretty damn exciting.
I've got some numbers here. 164 players, 24 MPO, 9 MP40.
Mm-hmm.
These are solid numbers.
14 women playing 6 juniors as well. So, yeah, the other all the amateur men's divisions look pretty healthy too. But mate, what's brought all these people to your event? It's unreal.
It's actually 15 women. Sarah's in playing MPO, so she snuck in under the radar for you.
Oh, there you go.
I think I was looking up the fields, and it's excluding majors, the only larger MPO fields we've ever had in Australia are essentially Australian Championships and Aussie Opens, and of which I think there's only about 3 or 4 events with larger MPO fields. So people are keen. They want to come play what I think is a pretty awesome course. We've just recently redeveloped the Pine Rivers course, thanks to our friendly friends at RAD, and also the local council putting in, quite an incredible course. There's a lot of interest in it around here. The course is absolutely buzzing. Every weekend you're pretty much waiting for a tee time, which is a novel concept. I guess people are coming. So the course went in, and in the first month we had, I think UDisc had 470 rounds, and so you can assume people not playing on UDisc is well above that. So the course is going ballistic, people want to come up and see. I think we have of the 164, I think it's about 60, 65 are out of the state. So that's some pretty big numbers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But
I mean, I can tell you why. It's pretty easy to get out of Vic when it's this bloody cold. I'm very excited to see the sun.
No, the sun didn't do anything. I was in the middle of sun on the weekend wearing my jumper going, what's going on here?
Oh, mate, I was thinking I'm going to have to go into the roof to get some shorts out. Look, I've got a few questions about the course. You kind of mentioned it there that Rad and I know Chris Barringer was pretty well on the ground the whole time doing that upgrade for the Pine Rivers. The upgrade has been essentially 18 Rad ace baskets are now in the ground?
19. Yep.
19?
One hole has 2 baskets.
One hole's got 2 baskets. Okay, awesome. That excites me very much. And you've got tee pads in now as well. And it did involve quite a bit of a redesign of the existing course. I mean, I did jump on and watch, what was it? Josh Morrison. Did that film course.
Did you enjoy the weather?
Yes. I'm glad that he muted most of it because the wind was howling.
I've played a Queensland Championships in that wind, and I had a 5-meter putt that turned into a 25-meter comebacker. It was just
yes.
So I'm hoping it's not like that on the day, but got to be ready for every condition.
That's all right, as long as there's some sunshine, don't mind. But yeah, look, I did recognize a few holes. The last time I played Pine Rivers was when
your first win.
It hosted the Australian Championships, which I think was back in 2018, 13. Shit, I'm old. All right,
I looked it up. It's your first PDGA win was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was at this course in MA1. But Sandbagger, yeah. No, funny. I won one.
Aaron Morton.
I took out one MA1 and then actually, went into MPO, which is,
well
not
done.
common.
There's a few people that could learn from that.
But no, I did recognize a few of the holes, but it seems like there has been a bit of a tweak to some of them. How much have they changed, and what is the local sort of feedback on the new design and the existing course now?
Yeah, so I think if you go onto YouTube, you can dig up the coverage from that 2013 Aussie Champs, because Yeti was over and a few others. I think Simon Feasey was over. And so, yeah, it looked like it was and I recognised a few faces in a few of those holes. I mean, essentially from that event, that some of those holes became permanent holes. So for the last 10 years, there's been 9 baskets and 18 tees. But then this year, it's been upgraded to, I guess, 19 baskets and 35 tees. So there's a full reds layout, there's a full blues layout. So pick your poison on what you want. I think the blues, the permanent layout's around 940 rated at the last league day, and the reds is coming in around 830, 850, somewhere around that. So you can kind of, choose what you want. Looking at the stats, people love the reds. It's sort of 3-1. People playing reds versus blues, which I can completely understand, because it's nice to get birdies.
People like birdies.
I don't get. I think on the blues, I think I rarely birdie any holes. So it's I'm very keen to see what the power players are able to do. So
yeah, is it a bit of a bomber course or forehand course? What are we talking here? Please say forehand.
How long's your forehand? There are definitely some holes. So there's there's one hole, 116 meter left to right hole. So
not that far. Yep.
Okay.
Move that pad up closer, can you? A little bit closer would be good.
You can. Oh, there's the red tee. It's 96.
Sweet.
I'd say it's a very good mix of both. So there's some like, if you like tunnel shots, there's probably about 4 or 5 very tight tunnels. And then if you like your bomber holes, I mean, we've got 4 par 4s over 200 meters. So I think there's
solid
230, 200. There's 2 about 230. So, those ones I'm happily trying to play for par, and usually taking bogey. And then, the other guys are playing, fairways and putters on their second shot, which is just not kind. So yeah, it's, there's definitely some bomber holes. That's what's the old Avery Jenkins saying. That's what power gets you, or something like that. They'll be able to disc down. I think a couple of the signature holes, there's a 142 meter par 3. So that's, that'll really, it is from elevation. But I think I've only seen one birdie so far. But yeah, no, it's a good mix. Bring it all your game. It's going to be a well-rounded player that wins it. You're not the guys. The current course record is set by not necessarily a power player. Not to say he's a short arm, but he can still throw a decent amount. But yeah, you gotta be in the right spot to get the birdies.
So you've mentioned that there's the red and the blue layouts, the blue being a little bit harder there. Looking at the website, is there going to be a bit of a mix of the layouts, or is like Open just going to play one, or is it every sort of division plays a combination of both? How's that going to work?
Yeah, so we've released which we've got. So we will be running two layouts. So the blues, which is will be probably easier to go the other way. So the reds layout will be the female divisions except FA1 and MA4 and the juniors, obviously. So they're going to be playing the reds layout, which is, I won't call it the short layout, I'll call it the shorter layout. And in a lot of those, that one will be a combination of red tees and some blue tees with modified pars, because I feel they're more interesting holes to play. And a permanent reds course is kind of not really aiming to challenge, and I'm sort of looking to challenge them. But mostly my decisions around what divisions played which layout was about score separation. Putting a juniors tee or an MA3 tee on 123 meter par 3 just means everybody gets par, and I'm kind of looking for actual score separation, and so that's sort of where we've landed with most of our designs. But yeah, all the MPO, MP40, etc. will be playing the blues layout, which is about 16 permanent holes. We're safaring 2 together, so we're joining 2 together, and then we're adding 1 temporary hole. But essentially, if you rocked up to the course today and played it as is, you're almost playing the tournament layout. A bit of long grass that's going to be OB just because we don't want people to spend ages looking for discs.
So the locals are going to smash it. That's what you're saying. The locals are going to smash it.
I think looking at the MPO, there's only 7 locals out of 24.
I've got targets on all of them. I've got Aaron Morton, Big Dan Adamak, Aussie Flight.
I think if I was putting my money on anybody, it'd probably be I'm curious to see Blake and Austin. I think are probably the 2 guys I'm keenest to see take it down.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't say no to Chili or DP, or definitely. Jade's defending champion, so he's probably got a little bit to prove.
All right, Paddy, we need some tips here. So you're going pick one name here, Nath. Who you going put your money on?
Money, I'll go Austin. He won Sizzler this year. He's did well at Vic Open. He's on a bit of a heater. So yeah, he's coming in hot.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
What about yourself, Paddy? Oh, I'm going to have to go with young one, Blake. Always tip him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's for a reason. He can piff the disc pretty far.
I can tell you whose card will be following round 1, and that's Blake's.
Yeah.
Is Alex coming over? Alex Canassa? No.
Alex Tame.
No.
Alex Tame's there.
Oh, Albert's cousin. Yeah.
Aldo.
No, I'll throw it out to Jade.
Jade, yeah.
Yeah. He's played pretty solid, but DP is also a good solid chance.
Yeah, his rating's getting up there, DP, 97.
Highest rated player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon there's got to be some smokies in the locals though. Big Dan Adamak, he'll be a chance.
Adamak's quite good. So you just mentioned Alex Tame, or Aldo as we know him.
Yep.
He's actually the course record holder.
There you go.
So,
I was going to say he must be Aldo-holic on UDisc.
That's it. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a trooper. He's been rocketing up the divisions.
That's a crack.
Just last year was playing MA3, and now he's setting course records and playing an MPO. So he's definitely on the up.
Well, look, I know you said that there's going to be a little bit of a modification. I did have a look at the UDisc stats, and on the red layout, Leith Brodie looks like he's a UDisc record holder there with a 43. Luke Bayne, Leith, and Aldo as well, coming in with some 52s, 53s on the blue. Also saw, mate, you snuck in there with a 54 on the white, so congrats on that one. But what... We've sort of said like some tips there, but what do you think a good score is actually going to be on this modified blue course, which I think the pars is 61?
Yeah, there's just an addition of a par 4, so and then apart from that, it's just the standard pars. My expectation is the winner's probably going to shoot 25 down over 3, would be my guess. So you probably need to be averaging 9, probably 8s or 9s to take it down. I mean, the course records is 8 down, but there's some big guns coming in that 8 down's going to look pretty easy once they start doing. But I mean, it also is very condition dependent, as you might have seen from Josh's video, where once the wind picks up, it's you're praying for par. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, no, I reckon I'd probably tip the over under at about 24, 25.
So as you are on the ground there too, Nath, what tips do you sort of have for players coming to the tournament? Any particular preparation or anything that you think this course, does it complement a certain style of play? What are your thoughts there? How do you score well on this course?
I would say it doesn't particularly favour any side of play. I mean, the previous course record holder was by a lefty, so it's not like there's anything. A couple of the baskets are fairly exposed, so if it gets a bit windy, you can get it can make putting pretty interesting. But essentially, I'd say if I think of holes sort of 2, 3, 4, and sort of near the end, those ones are very tight tunnel shots. I mean, I guess having played Inverleigh, maybe not that tight, but there's there is actually a tunnel. It's probably the difference. As long as you've got a dead straight fairway or a dead straight mid, you can save yourself a lot of strokes by just putting it in the middle of the fairway. And then obviously in the big open holes, yeah, if you can unleash it 120, 130, that's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. Because then you can disc down on the approaches rather than having to, be throwing max distance multiple times.
So bigger arm and clean through the woods. Sounds good.
Yeah, stunning events. It might also help you putt well.
Well, yeah. Never hurts. Never hurts.
Never hurts.
Yeah. Now, I did see you've got Disconnection and Disc Doctor are the major sponsors there. I know in the past, Disconnection have sort of done some, distance drive awards and CTPs, that type of thing. Can we expect a similar sort of thing? Or, yeah, what's planned for the event from them?
Yeah, I mean, Disconnection, big ups to them. They have made my life much easier. So yeah, they've been amazing. They've really helped allow us to allocate prizes to the open divisions as a result of them coming in and really looking after the almost all the AM prizes. So they've been amazing on that. And Disc Doctor, I think we're just releasing the app. So probably by the time this comes out, there'll be a notification that we've released. We'll be doing a Queensland Open app. So if you came across Aussie Champs, it's exactly the same as that. You'll be able to have all your everything in there, which is amazing. As far as sort of side events goes, unfortunately, we're somewhat limited by daylight hours. So the reason we have 164 players is because that's essentially the first card tees off at just after sunrise, and the last card finishes just before sunset. So we don't really have a lot of spare daylight to play with to be able to run any distance competitions or anything like that, which is a bit unfortunate. Because I'd love to see some of the big guys unleash. There is a warm up area, about 130 meters long, plus or take, which is more than enough for me, but maybe not for others.
No, you need to chuck another 50 to 70 on that bad boy.
maybe Blake can warm up with his mids or his zone.
He made a mockery of the Vic Open distance comp. Just threw it outside.
I watched his video where he was comparing buzzers, and he's just and like first throw, it's like 132 meters with a buzz, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? But yeah, that was wild. But yeah, no distance competition planned, but we will have a players dinner on Friday night. I think we're going to one of the local driving ranges.
It's not Topgolf.
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not looking after that. I thankfully have an amazing team, which is making my life very easy, because they are just putting in the absolute legwork, which is amazing, and allows me to focus on the easier things while they take care of all the hard work. I've had an incredible team, which, yeah, if you ever do a big event, get a good team behind you is my one advice. Who've been looking after it, and I'm assuming there'll be more details coming out on the socials about that on the Friday night. So yeah, we'll have the players dinner Friday night.
Sounds awesome, man. Mate, I cannot wait to get up there. I actually booked the flights today, so yeah. Looking forward to it. There is a big Vic contingent coming up where all of our little...
it's huge, Kent.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get up there, play some good golf and just enjoy some nice weather, get out of this cold weather. But no.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to having everybody. It's just, I'm at that stage where I'm like, I think I've got everything. Everything's coming together. All the players pack items are in the mail, and I've got everything coming in. So I'm like, I think I've got it all sorted, but we'll find out on the day, I'm sure. But yeah, can't wait to have everybody here and to check out our sweet course.
Yeah, unreal. Well, Nath, thanks for coming on, giving us a little bit of insight into the Queensland Open. Sorry, Queensland Open, and yeah, mate, we cannot wait to see you in a few weeks' time.
Excellent, thanks, guys.
What's news round the world, round Australia? What's news? What's happened and who's spoken?
I feel like this happened months ago, the Portland Open. Only a couple of weeks ago now, but that was the first Elite Plus event, Paddy.
Yeah, right.
So they've got Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite Series,
Yep.
Silver Series, and no gold, but Elite Plus.
Okay.
And then Major.
And then, right.
Mate, I'm confused. I don't know. But this is Elite Plus. So it's a little bit spicier than an Elite Series.
Yeah.
But not quite
Is that
Major.
like a little bit more cash on the line?
I think
or-
so. That's all.
yeah.
It was like an extra $8 cash or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway,
Not too shabby.
I don't know if they're aware. You can go silver, gold, and then Elite or something. But no, Elite Plus.
Elite Plus. Hey,
Anyway,
mate.
just thought I'd point that out.
It sounds fancier than gold, mate.
Now, I don't even care who won, to be honest. Couldn't give two sniffs about who won. The biggest news out of this one was my man, Nate Sexton. The cash streak ended. I still haven't got over this. This is a 15-year, 264 event cash streak. I think I brought it up last episode as well, and I've just moxied him. now it's gone. It's dead.
We've done the anti-podcast. He should have come on. He should have come on.
Yeah, he should have come on.
You hear that, Nate?
Anyway, I'm shattered. I'm gonna have to buy a few Sexton Firebirds in his name because
No,
in
mate,
all honesty,
the monkey's off his back now. It's
Yeah.
done. He'll come out and he'll be top 10 all year.
I think it was Statmando who put out the stats. The best live cash streak at the moment is Joel Freeman with like 70 events or something like that.
I haven't seen him play in ages.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Nate, he's been rocking up every comp. He hasn't gone like, no, I won't play that one because I'll lose my cash. He's just fronted up.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, look, that sucked.
So he's faking it, Joel Freeman, a bit, is he?
it.
Yeah.
He did put out a pretty telling post, Nate, saying he had a bit of a tear walking down the 18th fairway because he knew what he'd lost, and there'll probably never be a cash streak like that ever again. But look, there also was a competition on the day, so it wasn't just about limping into cash. Someone had to win.
I have that every round, like when I miss that putt.
Guess who won this one? I mean, Eagle McMahon just won Beaver State, so you'd probably think him, eh?
Well, I think my tips was Eagle and KT.
Well,
back to back, but he didn't even finish.
Nah, it was big Adam Hambone Hammers.
Hammers.
Out of nowhere.
Would not have picked it.
Yeah.
Would not have picked it at all.
He has not been playing that well, Hammies, but he had a good win. And look, it was drama. Came down to the last hole. Aaron Sausage, he was one stroke behind going into the par 5, 18th.
Yeah, now I'm curious to sort of hear your thoughts on this whole sort of breakdown because I think I've heard a little bit of stuff. I know watching it live, I was thinking a bit of like, what the hell's he doing? But yeah I want to hear your thoughts.
Look,
Tim.
it's an interesting hole. So off the tee, I think the only real option is a right-hand backhand shot. And you kind of want to just like stay in bounds, fade to the left to open up the angle for the second shot, which goes out over OB. Or you can go a roller down the left and sort of turn, you have to sort of cut roll out over OB and back in. It's a risky shot, but soft par 5, the eagle is there if they need it. And two players needed it. Corey Ellis and Hammers were one shot behind Aaron Gossage.
Yep.
They were kind of out of position. Gossage actually threw a perfect drive, so Ellis and Hammers had to go first. And they knew that sort of Gossage was going to get a birdie, so they went for the eagle play. Both went OB. Hammers fortunately progressed to, he was only like 60 foot away from the basket, OB.
Well, this is the thing. So, yeah, he's gone for that roll in that second shot. And then I was expecting Gossage to... I was really surprised he threw a forehand approach.
Yeah.
So, the basket's on a bit of a hill. There's quite a large tree. It really does not shape up for a forehand. It shapes up for a backhand.
100%.
But yeah... Had the forehand, he's laid up to the bottom. He's left himself, at least it was a circle 2 putt straight uphill.
No, he put, basically he was, once Hammers went OB and Ellis went OB, Gossage knew he kind of had 2 shots up his sleeve. So Gossage said, I need to play for the eagle. That's why he threw the forehand just to get position. And then he had, I want to say, a 200-foot upshot, and he left that short.
Yes,
And that was the issue. Because as soon as he left it short and he's got like a 7-meter putt to the elevated basket to go, Hammers saw a little crack in the door and Hammers canned like a 60-footer or like a 45, 50-footer from his OB lie for the OB birdie.
There was an interesting point that sort of came up, like Hammers, like where he went out of bounds wasn't really defined. Mm-hmm. And on reflection, apparently Aaron has sort of said, he's like, oh, I really needed to actually find out where he went OB. Yeah. Because I think in his mind he thought, right, he's gone out of bounds.
Yeah, that's it.
He's got no chance.
I was surprised to see him putting from where he was, to be honest. Because, I mean, Alice definitely OB early left. I thought Hammers went OB early right, but all of a sudden he's putting for birdie from, just outside circle 2 maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it comes down to that match play, but I was just like, what? Like, why would you leave it that short? Like, even, I know he's nervous about going out of bounds as well, but oh man.
No, he really, that upshot was just pressure. And that's one thing we've seen with Gossage. He's, this is like his 3rd podium in as many majors, basically. He's always there, and you can see the pressure just getting him at the end. He's just not hitting C1 putts and doing little mistakes that the other guys aren't doing, like leaving that upshot short. I mean, Hammers just like slammed it home. It was huge.
Huge putt.
That tied things up, and then went to the playoff, and it lasted just the 1 hole. Hammers got the birdie and put it to bed.
Yeah, and again, Aaron had another putt. Sauce had another putt. And, throughout that round, the putting did look a bit shaky. Yeah. I wonder if, he is a relatively new player to, this elite level of play. Yeah. So I wonder if that is sort of getting a bit under his skin, or a bit, that's maybe the monkey on his back at the moment. But
I think the other thing on his back was the dynamic disc or the latitude baskets.
Well, yeah, this is interesting.
No. They were gross, Paddy. They were gross.
They weren't that gross. I looked at a lot of his putts. Yeah. I mean, Hammers was cashing it from left, right, and center. Mm-hmm. So, there was one that was really gross. He was on the pole and it came back out.
3 holes to go. It was yuck. The basket just flat out wasn't doing what it was meant to do. That putt should never get out.
Yeah, but I've seen that one get spit out a lot. He's putting hard
and a bit of hyzer.
Yeah, and nose down, to jut straight in, coming in that hard, and you would think that it's coming in at that angle, it's got nowhere to go, but they spit out. And Hammers did have a couple of splash outs as well. I think there was one hole that was these guys are all circle 1, and they all missed. But it did look a little bit high. It was a bit left, it was a bit right. Yeah. One question did come into Fergie about, Fergie has done a bit of basket design, and he was going to talk about what makes a good basket. So we've actually shelved that question for next time.
Okay, cool.
He's going to come back with a little bit. So I am very keen to listen to that.
Yeah.
But yes,
I think needless to be said, those ones at Portland were trash. But look, they were all putting on them, so they were all at the same disadvantage. Unfortunately, Gossage got a really key spit out quite late, and that's basically when you force a playoff, you're that's where the stroke went.
Yeah.
It was really interesting though. Alice, Hammers, Gossage were all in it with 1 hole to play, and they were all 0 from playoffs in major and elite series events. So it was kind of cool seeing. I wanted all 3 blokes to win. One of them was going to break the hoodoo, and unfortunately for Gossage, it was Hammers, not him.
I mean, yeah, such a cool course too. Just watching the footage, but the actual design of the holes as well. They've put a lot of time, a lot of thought into them. And
absolutely, and
epic.
There's rumors that maybe Portland might put a bid in for Worlds at some point, and I could see Worlds on that course. That course is sick.
100%.
That finishing hole 18, it's a soft par 5. I think maybe it could be potentially just a par 4, but it's drama. It is absolutely drama. I remember, last year it was Garrett Gerthy and Simon Lizotte came down to that hole. And the OB is, it's just awesome. Awesome course. Awesome result for Hammers. He's an animal. He just has that fighter instinct, and good to see him get a win.
Yeah, I'm sure that's done a lot for his. He does seem like a bit of a confidence player too, so I'm sure that's given him a bit of a boost.
Yeah. On the FPO side of things, it was a familiar name once again. She's back in the country. She's back getting wins. It was Kristen Tatar with a 25 down. This is interesting though. She so second place was Sai Ananda. Third place, Owen Scoggins, and tied for third, Juliana Korver.
All right.
So someone point out you've got Sai Ananda in her 20s, Kristen Tatar in her 30s, Owen Scoggins in her 40s, and Juliana Korver in her 50s, rounding out the par four.
Yeah, right. That's super cool. That's a good stat.
Very, very cool stat. And just outside of the top five was, top four was Paige Pierce in fifth. So, interesting one. Kristen Tatar back, just shredding it as per usual. The next competition was the Zootown Open. Now, this one was a silver series in Missoula, Montana. A kind of a cool-looking course.
Yeah.
Real technical, real wooded.
I was a bit surprised to see so many people drop out.
A lot of people dropped out. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it was the weather. So, unfortunately for this comp, the forecast wasn't great. It was actually okay for the first couple of rounds, but the third round got absolutely canned. Got cancelled before it had. I mean, I think it had teed off for a few players, but then they had to call it because of thunderstorms that just weren't going to clear.
Yeah.
So Evan Scott, he was the leader after the end of the second round, got the win with a 23 down, 4 shots ahead of Clay Edwards and Anthony Barella.
Now, I have picked Evan Scott quite a bit in the Grip 6 this year, and he's been on fire for me.
Mate, he's
absolute staple. I did miss him in the picks for the Forest Open.
I'd like to see him play in the wind because he would probably struggle to stay on the ground. The guy's like 20 kilos.
Yeah, I don't think he's 21. I think he's maybe 19 or 20, but
Old scrawny
huge.
Scott. Huge win. He just did not miss putts. He was smashing putts from anywhere. So good to see him get a win. Kristen Tatar got another win on the FPO. She was 4 shots ahead of Missy Gannon. And 5 shots ahead of Katrina Allen. So, interesting one, that one. They're the only 2 big comps. I think we've covered the Lukey Bayne stuff with the BayneWatch. We had only one competition in Australian shores, and that was the Sterling Classic over in WA. You may as well just call this, all the WA comps, the Blake Houston versus Alex Canaston show. It was Blake v. Alex. This one goes to Alex. Alex got a win by 2 shots over Blake.
Nice one, Alex.
Corey Bandy took out MP40 and Sue Summers took out FA1. So shout out to that crew.
Bandy, nice.
Bit shy on Aussie comps. I mean, the biggest one was the Southwest Teams Classic down in Geelong. That was taken out by Ryan Hart's team, but good fun.
Who was on Ryan Hart's team?
It's a good question. I probably should have had that intel.
Doesn't matter. It wasn't your team.
Wasn't my team. Yeah. Captain Tim Bowen is, I think I'm 0 from 3 or 0 from 4 from Southwest teams. But this was my strongest lineup.
Yeah.
We just couldn't get it done. Heaps of fun. I think this needs to be done more often, like teams of 4. The strategy with teams of 4 is awesome.
Yes.
Who to putt when, and you get to have 3 people like trying to run chains. Awesome fun. I love trying to piff my destroyer in from 30 meters out.
100%. Yeah. We did see there was a couple of comments in the Geelong chat pre the event. There were some people sort of saying, "Oh, look, I don't think I can actually contribute to this." But
get out there.
Nah, that's the whole point of this teams event. It's a lot of fun. And hey, like, when do you get the opportunity to actually run whatever you want?
Exactly. If you're sure how it works, so it's your teams of 4. And you're split according to skill levels. So each team has like an MPO player, an MA1 player, MA2 or 3 player, and an MA4 player. Mm-hmm. And you have to take 3 drives of each player.
Yeah.
So obviously playing a course like Inverleigh Gold, where the holes are really, really long, you go like, okay, MA4 we need to use those 3 drives tactically so that we're, if they've got one in the fairway, even though they might be 50 meters shorter of the other players, we're going to take it because we need to use that, tick that off the mark. And just stuff like that's awesome. And having everyone run shots. Good fun. Yeah, I think we need to do more of that. It's definitely got merit.
I mean, like I've played a ball golf Ambrose event, and it was heaps of fun too. Yeah. Definitely worth doing.
Next up, we've got the Caddo Crush, the Crater Lakes Classic, and the Central West Cold Snap, all going down before the big one, Queensland Open, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Which one are you playing, Tim?
I'm playing Crater Lakes. I think I'll play Central West Cold Snap. but I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a bit of a hike for me.
That's a solid hike.
Solid drive. I think last time I did that level of drive was to Sizzler, and then I couldn't get a putt from 4 meters in. So the back doesn't like the long drives these days. So we'll see. I might prioritise Queensland over that one. But
sounds good. Excited for Crater? What's the open field looking like?
For Crater, there's 4 of us. It's myself, Matt Knobless, Ryan Hart, and the 4th name's escaping me off the top of my head. But I think everyone's an open shot for that one.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I want to find out who the last person is. I think I'm probably 4th favourite though, so put it that way. And Kaylin Borg. Yeah.
Oh, Kaylin.
So 2 SA locals, and then myself and Ryan Hart will go there, and as we always do, the Heighton boys, we smash it.
Yeah. Good times. I freaking love Crater. I'd go there just for a weekend anyway.
It's raining though.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about it.
Awesome.
Looking for help with course design and installations, a new disc or other accessories for your game? Well, OzDiscs has a huge range of all disc golf equipment in stock. 5% of each sale goes back to support your local club through their rewards program. Also, did we mention they have next day shipping? Well, jump online and check out OzDiscs now at www.ozdiscs.com.au.
All right, and on the phone, coming in all the way from across the other side of the world, Luke Bayne. How are you doing, mate?
Hi, boys. How are we doing? I am lovely. It is very early here. It's just before 8 o'clock, and I have a practice round pre-booked, so I'm just about to test out the course again. But yeah, lovely.
That's definitely a man without kids. It's early, just before 8 o'clock. Hey, Tim.
Let me know when the clock starts with a 5, Luke.
Yeah. No, well, where are you at the moment then?
So I'm just outside of Benazov, which is about half an hour from Prague. So I am at Konopiste, and Konopiste is on this weekend. So got to check out the course yesterday, and it is beautiful. Such a stark contrast to the course last weekend in Croatia.
Well, shout out to that course last weekend at Croatia. The Pro Forester tied 6th, mate. That is a massive.
That's
a massive.
Absolutely huge, man.
Yeah, thank you. It was lovely. Obviously, slightly disappointing, but I couldn't be much happier, really, considering I had one main goal for the whole sort of tour, and that was finish top 10 and maybe sneak a European Open spot. So I've done that now, and it's kind of everything
huge
big tick there, Bainey.
And you did it all with a. I've got a few stats here in my my BayneWatch segment here, Paddy. A 10.56 rated opening round.
Yeah,
10.23 average. So I know you said slightly disappointed, only because your final round wasn't quite as good as your first 2. But mate, you were killing it in Croatia.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it wasn't. It was pretty good. It felt pretty good. It didn't feel 10.56. It felt like 10.30 maybe. Okay. And similar with Estonia. Estonia felt actually a little bit low. It felt more like kind of, I don't know, 1,000, 1,010. Mm-hmm. But it probably just says something about the field. I mean, in Estonia was quite strong, not quite as strong in Pro Forester. But, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not really concerned about ratings. The ratings sort of to this point where I can compete and qualify, and then really it's about self-performance and see how you do it against everyone else. So top 10 is amazing and couldn't be happier.
So awesome stuff. Was it just, what about the last round? You said you were a little bit disappointed, Benny, but like what's on your reflection, what are you sort of disappointed about? I mean, we're not looking at ratings. Was there something of your game that just didn't feel great? Like, what was it?
Yes, good question. I think it was just a slight twinge to the body. It was a little bit sore, and I tried to kind of trigger it beforehand, and I think I made it worse. So everything then meant like every drive and every approach shot was just 5 degrees early. And so in terms of accuracy and consistency, it just wasn't really there. So it was pretty disappointing not to be able to do that. And have it to have done it the 2 days beforehand. So that's kind of just about it. It just wasn't dialed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, still, man, like, you know, not feeling dialed and coming tied for 6 is insane. Like, absolutely insane.
Oh my God, dude. And totally. And the big picture, exactly. To play one round with Paul McBeth and Jacob Zemmerad and even Scott Stokely, like, let alone 2 rounds with Paul McBeth and Jacob Zemmerad was ridiculous. I mean, that's kind of a dream come true, let's be honest.
Mate, like from your early social media posts where you're just like filming him from a distance, you must be pinching yourself to then be on a card playing against the GOAT. Like how things have escalated.
Oh, totally,
from there.
yeah. A little sneaky backseat videography action.
Mildly stalkerish. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
totally. Sort of interacted with Paul and Joey in Estonia. It like had the inkling that we were probably going to be seeing each other quite a bit and hanging out for a lot of the tour. So it just felt the start of a fantastic relationship or whatever. So I'm glad that we could keep it up in a very in a more respectful and mature way by earning a spot on the card with him a couple of times. So
yeah,
awesome, man. Let's go back to Estonian Open. So, unfortunately, that one you just missed cash. Is that right? You're just a couple shots off the cash line?
Yeah, I think it was only a couple places, one shot maybe.
Yeah. That's a bummer. But 10-27 rated second round. That was the hot round you had.
Yeah. Yep.
And tell us about that comp. That was the stronger field, not quite as strong at the Pro Forester you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, the comp was lovely. I played there last year as well, so...
Actually, I think I looked up these stats, right? Round 2, you had 100% C1, 75% C2 putting.
That's shit hot.
That can't be right. Yeah. That is gross performance, Bayney. What happened there?
I don't know what it's been. I mean, you got to see it at SA Open. The C2 putting was kind of on, no pressure, no expectation, and for whatever reason, a lot of them were dropping, and it kind of just continued in Estonia. I don't know. I don't know what the secret is. I don't know exactly why, but they seem to go down, and I mean, who wouldn't putting stats like that?
Yeah, mate. Like as you said, I watched it at an SA Open. It's like debilitating watching your opponent just knock them in from anywhere within 25, 30 meters. I mean, you've done that. I've watched Dylan Feldman do that. It's just like, how am I going to get a stroke on this person? Honestly.
Totally.
Very, very impressive, mate.
It makes it tough.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. It was a similar thing actually with in the Pro Forester in the first round. In the first 9 holes, there was 4 C2 putts. So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very high, and like that's kind of the difference. If you're not really dropping those, then you can get a few strokes difference between that and the ideal situation. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a little bit luck.
So did with the Pro Forester, was that where you guys had played last year at the World Teams event? I just saw some footage that looked similar to last year on a few of those holes.
Yes, it's the same venue, modified course. Last year we had 2 courses.
Yeah.
This year it was like the combination, the difficult version of everyone. So amazing that we got to check it out last year, and incredibly good practice. But yeah, definitely tougher this time as well. A little bit longer, a little bit tighter on some lines. So it was quite challenging. A lot of the Europeans were saying it's probably the toughest course they've ever played, and not due to like length or anything, but due to the narrowness of like a lot of these tees, a lot of these lines, a lot of the fairways, and the big thing was there's like stinging nettle everywhere. So and it's thick as. So as soon as you're off the fairway, in terms of like finding a disc and then surviving, it was a bit of a challenge. So that was kind of the issue. Gamble game had to be on point.
Yeah, right.
Now, Bayney, we know you've got your practice round at Conopista coming up. We don't want to keep you much longer. I've just got one more question, and it's an important one. So, obviously, the support from the Australian community has been huge. Everybody's been tracking you on social media. There's been some
amazing. Thank you, Australia. I really, really appreciate it too.
Now, importantly, like there's been some memes. I've seen. We put out the tee off. We put out the BayneWatch, the BayneWatch meme.
BayneWatch. Yeah.
Parked
That was so
Media.
good.
They did the Bayne train. I like that one,
Mhm.
and they also doubled
Yep.
it down with McBain as well. And I'm sure there's been others.
Oh, yeah.
What's been the best
Totally.
meme so
I'm a
far?
big fan of all the above.
Oh, you got to pick one.
I like all of them. Okay. As a big Simpsons fan, I love the McBain.
You gotta get that one.
I would
We
love
gave
to
you
see,
Hasselhoff as
another-
well. I could have put you on Pam Addison, but we gave you Hasselhoff.
Yeah. I mean, look. I do look sexy in that photo. I really appreciate the time you put into it. But yeah, I'm a fan of the Bayne plan, especially now with the tour support discs.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I
Bayne
mean, there's an
train,
opportunity there for another modification, another version.
All right, I'm going back to the drawing board. I'll think of something else for the
Yeah.
next one. But thanks very much for coming on, mate. We really appreciate you dialing in, and best of luck for Connor Peace Day.
Appreciate it, fellas, and hope to talk to you soon as well.
Thanks, mate. Get after it. Good luck.
Hell yeah, thank you.
All right, Timmy, I know it's your favourite segment, mate. I've got a little bit of a disc golf tip of the week for you.
Oh, boy.
There's no mental game reflections or anything like that. It's just a training tip. So a bit of an approach and putt training exercise that I've been doing that I think some people might enjoy. So typically when people first start, they only buy drivers. And Smart, yep. High speed and overstable drivers. It's really hard not to do that as well. But look, if you're starting to take disc golf a little bit more seriously, I would encourage you to buy a stack of putters. I've now got at least 40 or 50 putters at home, but I reckon 10 to 20 is a really good number to sort of have to start out with. Now, with your approach and putt training exercise, the one I've been doing recently is very, very simple. I take all the mids and approach this that I have in my bag. I do have to supplement that sometimes with some doubles that I've got at home as well. So I try and get that 10 mid / approach discs. Go down to a hole. I go about 30 meters out, and then I approach the basket with 10 of the mids approach on a forehand for the first one. And then I take my putters down there and I putt from every one. I just putt once from that approach disc. After I've putted out, I'll go collect them all and then head back out, go maybe to 50 meters. And then approach with backhand this time and just change that up, etc. Go to, rinse and repeat, essentially. 30 meters, 40 meters, 50 meters, and keep changing up with forehand, backhand. If there's a few trees on that hole, I'll try and put myself in a position where, maybe I'm approaching from a knee, maybe it's a little bit of a scramble shot, just to keep it a bit more interesting than just standing out in the middle of a field, approaching a basket and putting. But yes, I would encourage people to do this. It really helps with the forehand, the backhand, that confidence for you on the course, then translate that into tournaments. And I would also say try not to putt twice from the one approach shot. So I know that first instinct is like, that's not where I wanted to go, or I shouldn't have done that. I know that's not where I wanted to hit. But use that knowledge and go to your next putt so you don't become trusting on that first initial putt to be your guide. You are then training that instinctual reaction and judgment in real life, which you would then translate to your tournament play. So nice and simple.
Only get one chance at putts in the tourney, so you always got to reset the feet, aim again, and putting twice or three times for the one spot. Not learning too much from that.
So not rocket science, but just one I've been doing. Very, very easy. Get out there and have a crack.
Sounds good.
Brenton, it's Paddy and Tim here from the Tee Off. How you going, mate?
Oh, g'day, mate. How are you?
You are live, my man.
Am I live? Oh, geez. Never been live for anything before in my life.
Now, Brett, who the hell are you?
It's Brenton.
Brenton.
Oh, man, good question. My name's Brenton. Usually go by Yulesy around the disc golf course. And, I'm from Queensland, Australia. Just throwing discs a few years now. And, I guess the hardest thing I've really done in my life is lose a bit of weight. And,
Well, not just a little bit of weight, mate. You did when you reached out to us. You said you've actually lost 50 kilos in a couple of years, and the disc golf has helped that journey for you. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, mate, it wasn't easy. So started out probably in the pre-COVID days. My biggest number, not that it really matters, but it was 167 metric kilos. And today I'm about $180, so 108 kilos in scales before. Disc golf helped me do that because I just started out with just walking and, sort of led me to disc golf. And
yeah, that's unreal, man. Super happy to hear that.
And Brenton, thanks for reaching out. We really appreciate, someone sharing a story such as yours, losing 50 kilos and sort of finding the sport that way. Have you jumped into the competitive scene yet? Are you signed up for the Queensland Open?
Yeah, not that competitive. My rating's only about, I think the best ever was only about 700 on metrics. But, hopefully the wins will be a bit better for me at the Queensland Open. And,
I got to admit, on those casual rounds, I do like a beer on the course. Did you have to cut that out, Brenton? Was there a bit of dieting as well as disc golf?
You don't get to 167 kilos without drinking a few fucking pop the test, I'm keen. I drink socially now, so I've cut that right back. Mainly just drink red wine these days, but don't mind a little bringing a little bottle bag or a sack of goon to the old casual round now and then.
Lovely. So your message to anyone if they wanted to lose a couple of kgs, like what would you tell them?
Just start small, start now, and just keep a message in your head. Just think in 2 years now, you'll be glad you started today.
Well, that's awesome, dude. Thanks for reaching out and thanks for coming onto the pod. We don't mind sharing little stories like this that pop up, and yours is a good one. 50 kilos is definitely no joke. And if anyone out there is listening thinking, I'm not athletically inclined, I probably can't play disc golf, or I'm out of shape, can't play, just give it a crack, as you said.
Yeah, just get out there, get it up. Disc golf's a great place to start, because it's just like a walk with a purpose, and you don't feel silly doing a bit of exercise,
I like that. A walk with a purpose. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, Brenton, again, mate, thanks for reaching out and appreciate you telling us your story.
Yeah, thanks so much, Daddy. Thanks so much, guys.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Now, Timmy, we had a few questions come in, so shout out to all the people that jumped on the socials and sent some questions in. One of them we sort of mentioned before was directed at Fergie about the basket, so we'll get back to that person next time. But Paddy Ferris, first off, thanks for all the duck puns last week, mate. He sent in at least 15 with the Duck Hunter.
Actually, it's funny. Can I go another bird-related story?
Yeah.
The guy I play with in the States at M Worlds,
he
posted the other day that he threw a mid-range shot and he reckons he hit a bird about 50 foot into the flight. So it's on a mid-range full pelt.
Like bird in midair?
Hit a bird in midair. And he just goes to his mate in the car. He's like, I think I just killed a bird. But he couldn't tell. And he walked up there, and the bird is sliced clean in half.
Oh wow!
Cannot, mate. He sent a picture in. It was a bit graphic. Obviously, I'm not going to share it on the tee off socials, but the man sliced a bird in half.
Far out.
It reminded me of that baseball pitch, that famous pitch that hit the bird in flight and just in the feathers. But yeah, that was crazy. Lucky. I mean, it made me feel better about hitting the duck because at least the duck waddled off before he inevitably carked it.
Well, it sounds like a slow, more painful end to the duck, and the bird was a bit quicker.
But a mid-range. I can't believe the mid-range sliced through.
Wonder what kind of mid.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we're putting some force on it.
It was a little bird, though.
Yeah.
It was like like between a sparrow and a mudlark sort of sized.
Yeah, right.
Bird. No. So it just came to mind. So I'll have to maybe,
All right, Paddy, you can send in another 15 duck bird puns about that one. But Pat Ferris has also asked, how many putters have you been through before you found the one, or are you still searching?
It's a very good question. What's your putter journey, Paddy?
Started off with KC Pro AVRs.
Mm-hmm.
I did dabble a little bit. The first putter I got given was from Fergie, and that was a Discraft Challenger.
Mm-hmm. Shit putter.
Yeah. It was beat too.
Yeah.
I still got it, but when I started taking it a bit more seriously, went to KC Pro AVRs. I think I've then transitioned, like once I got sponsored by Latitude, transitioned down the dagger line, and I've stayed with that for 7-8 years now. I think a big one with putters, I get like people, I think it's a constant reflection. Like people want to like, oh, my putting's not good. I need to change my putter.
They are correct.
Yeah.
No.
I think the biggest thing is figure out whether you like a beat or not. Figure out what kind of glide that you want, because that's going to affect how it reacts in wind, and then just commit. Like some putters maybe might be like a little bit shallower, maybe a little bit flatter. Some people might go like concaved or a bit domey. Like, yes, they're all small little things, but that's not going to change like big aspects of your actual putting or the flight of the disc.
I think the thing with the putter is, I mean, we could literally putt with a plate from inside 10 meters. Like you can throw anything in. It's just you have to have confidence in it, most importantly, and it has to have good hand feel.
Yeah.
Like they all fly roughly how a putter should fly. So it's all about the hand feel. It's funny, my first putter was a Yeti Pro.
Yeah, okay.
And for no other reason other than that
they don't feel great in the hand.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so I bought it because I drive a Skoda Yeti as my car. And I just bought a Yeti Pro. I'm like, sick. I love the Yeti. Get it. And much like my Skoda Yeti, the Yeti Pro is a freaking ugly disc. It's got a concave top,
properly,
just like the car. And then when I started to realize that no one else's putter looked like that, I was like, what can I go to next? And look, full disclosure, you were putting with daggers. And I'm like, Paddy does not miss a freaking putt. And Dylan was putting with them as well. And I'm like, shit, I'm getting daggers. And I was with them for ages. And then I went to that putter journey that Paddy's mentioned where I'm just like, look, I'm not putting well. Daggers feel trash in the hand. What else can I try? And I went and got a million other things. And just picked the one that felt good, felt the best in the hand, and I've tried to stick with it. So once I made that initial choice, like, this one feels okay. I've tried to put all the doubts and, is this the right disc for me, sort of out of my mind, and just stuck with it, and that's the judge.
And the judge, yeah. No, good question, Paddy. But I think the biggest thing is just try and stick with it. That is going to be the big one. Ryan Nicholson, a.k.a. the Disc Maniac, has sent in, as pros, is putting putting on sloped greens only a little stressful, or do you get super nervous too?
I probably definitely loft the putter a bit more for not just sloped greens, but death putts. Something about putting downhill. It seems to like get rid of the stress. I'm more stressed about putting uphill on a sloped green because I know uphill I'm likely to hit tray or my metal or something, it'll start rolling. I don't know. Is it stressful? It is stressful. I don't know if I don't know. I can't answer that one. I'm just trying to think on the spot. What do you reckon?
Honestly, it's very, very, very situational. If I'm feeling hot, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that putt downhill is a little more stressful because you're obviously thinking, well, if this does not go well, I could be dealing with the 20, 30 meter. But when you're feeling hot, try and put all that stress out of your actual stance, out of your how much grip, out of your shoulders. Try and stay loose and actually just commit. And,
there's something about just like mentally accepting the consequences before you putt. You're like, look, I just got to give this a red hot crack.
Yeah. If
I whiff it and it's OB or whatever, or it rolls, so be it. But just accept it before you putt.
Yeah.
Be prepared to get the consequence, I guess.
So really, they're stressful, super nervous, but it's how we deal with that, Ryan. That's it. Hopefully the experience of us being pros.
I think the point meter definitely taught me putting uphill on sloped greens. Definitely not so much more nervous, but definitely requires more technique. When your back foot is lower than your front foot and it's harder to push off, that's where I kind of opt for the straddle a bit more.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I'm a bit more, I think about him a bit more, is because I'm not putting my normal stance.
Yeah.
But downhill, no problems.
Oh, those point meter baskets with the Knobless.
Yeah, that's it.
Baskets do not help either.
The nubless.
Knobless? Yeah.
Knobless.
I'm knobless when I putt there. Clayton Beck has sent in, do you think Kristen Tatar's dominance will change the future of FPO, for example, creating more competition, etc.?
I think she's put a red hot candle underneath the rest of the FPO field and been like, get a wriggle on, girls, because this is where the standard needs to be honest. I mean, to be honest, she's the one that's out there that's like ruthless pro at the moment. She's the only one. And I don't know if she's having a negative effect on Paige. I think she is. I think Paige will say that she isn't, but I think it's obvious that she is. I think, her dominance will definitely be shaping the future of FPO.
I was thinking a bit about this, Clayton, because it's an excellent question. So a few things with that. I think one thing with Kristen being in Europe, she's like, essentially this is like a FIFO job. Yeah. She's flying in, she's committing to her, 2-month leg, and then she goes home, resets. Like she's back at home, she's training, she's doing all of that, and then coming in, and this is her job. Like she's treating it. I remember when Paul, like she's not on the road. She's not in a car, like having to do, she's not living on the road. This is not her life, outside. Yeah. Like this is.
Can't be. She's got she's got kids, so.
Yeah. So I do wonder if that is a little bit of an edge, like outside, I know like some of these pros have talked about the burnout of the actual tour when they're doing that weekend, week out. So whether or not that is something that will sort of change a little bit more in the future of the FPO. I also think it's not just Kristen as well, but she's showing these women that this is the level of play that can happen. This is we can make money. Like I can, this is what you can do with disc golf. So I do wonder if that's why. If you look at in the last couple of years, like I went to Statmando, I had a little look at the FPO standings. I mean, the top 5 are probably what you would expect to hear: Kristen Tatar, Kat Allen, Paige Pierce, Owen Scoggins, and Missy Gannon. Like very solid. But the last 15 weeks is where I thought it got quite interesting. Kristen Tatar still there, Kat Murch, Owen Scoggins, Paige, and Sayananda. So you've got a few, like your Kat Murch, very still new to this, line of pro play, and same with Sayananda. So whether or not like she's helping like these women, like, okay, well, I can actually make a bit of a career out of this. I can give it a red hot crack because this is what Kristen's doing. And they're dedicating more time. They're like taking it more seriously. And that's why some of these girls are getting their podiums and making their way up the ranks.
I don't even know if it's that. I think just getting your backside kicked hurts. Like competition drives growth. I think even if you look at like all the Australian states, like there's no coincidence that, there's been a couple of good players come from Geelong. It's because, you and Dill have been so dominant and you've helped pull some players along and, driven that competition and driven that level of skill, like raised the standard. Same thing's happening in Canberra with, the MPO players up there. Same thing's going to happen in Queensland, like watching Aldo Tame and Dan Adamek and Liam Downing and Aaron Morton come through. That's pretty much the Bayne effect, I reckon. So I think, Kristen's dominance will be raising the standard for FPO, and you'll start to see more and more girls sort of jump off the radar in the next few years, I think. Yeah. They're going to get sick of getting their backsides kicked soon. Do something about it.
No, good question, Clayton. Definitely one to sort of think about there. But, all these wins, all this, like this elite play, like Paul Macbeth, it's only going to bring in more recognition of the sport and the pro, eliteness and ability of these pros. So, yeah, it can only go up.
Reese Circuit has asked, what's going on in disc golf that you think isn't getting enough or too much attention?
What are your thoughts, Steve?
Mate, we may need to come back to this one next week because it's quite a deep question, I think.
Yeah. All right, I'm happy with that. All right, that brings us to an end of another episode of the Tee Off, episode 39. Next one's big, Tim, the big 4-0. Maybe we should do a couple of giveaways or something on that one.
Sounds good.
But yeah, please make sure you jump on Facebook and Instagram. Give us a follow. Send in any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss because we appreciate and love all the stuff coming back. And feedback too is really important. But until next time, guys, we hope you get out, play some disc golf with your mates and, have a good time.
So that's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening. I don't know why you're still here. We have to go see our families. Seriously, just go play disc golf.